if you guys can hear the thunder, but there's definitely quite a storm rolling in. Our current situation is this. Yeah, so thunder, we've had a little lightning rolling in. Oh, and there you go. That's what I'm talking about, folks. So I will touch base with you guys here in a little bit and we'll see where we're at, but current situation for hiking. Okay, so hopefully this will clear up. I'm gonna go finish my coffee because I cannot hike without coffee. But hopefully this will clear up and I'll see you guys on trail here in just a little bit. Alright guys, so we are on the trail. I want to turn this around because I kind of want you guys to be able to see a little bit of what the terrain looks like here. This first part of this trail is really good. The awesome thing about this Long Point Trail is there is a good section here in the front that's even wheelchair accessible. If you have bad knees or any kind of physical limitations to where you can't hike in uneven or unsteady terrain or up and down rocky steep areas, you can still get out and enjoy these trails. Probably going to run into a lot of this today since it was pouring rain earlier, but I was smart and I wore my Hoka's, my Kaha's, that's how I pronounce it anyways. They're Gore-Tex and pretty waterproof, and they're great for mud, and you can just kind of keep trekking through the water. You don't have to really slow down, and that's awesome, so it doesn't slow down your hike. Another really interesting thing for me today is not only is this my first YouTube video ever, but this is also my first solo hike. I've really been trying to challenge myself this year and do some things that I'm not used to doing and some things that I've kind of been afraid of. And so today my husband was busy and he couldn't come along, and I really wanted to get this video out to you guys and get this channel started. And so I decided to venture out today and do my first solo hike. So first video on YouTube, first solo hike, a day of first. So let me show you this really nice area that has been put out here by the Park Service. So as you can see, there is a nice ramp here. We do have handrails. And then it comes up and opens out into this really beautiful field. And there's some information in here about the community. And you know, this was a coal mining area back in the day. It's a big thing in West Virginia. So you'll see a lot on the trails in this area, and we'll cover some of these trails, but you'll see a lot of trails that are built around the old coal mining areas here. So this is beautiful. All right, so we are back on the regular trail. I think honestly, even if you do have some limitations, like I said, as far as up and down hills and uneven surfaces, this part of the trail is still probably okay for most people. I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can kind of get a idea of what it looks like in the beginning of the trail. Again, mud everywhere. That's part of it, folks. It's so pretty through here. I love hiking in any kind of pine trees. I can find a little pine thicket in the forest. It makes me happy. You know, I grew up in the outdoors. My parents used to always take us camping and fishing and different things like that, but we really didn't hike a whole lot. So as an adult, after I was married, you know, I really had gotten out of it for a long time, actually. Like, gotten out of being in the woods and, you know, just doing teenage things. So I was kind of preoccupied. And so after I got married, I really started feeling the call, you know, and the draw to get back in the mountains and to get back out there and start hiking again. And so I got my husband into it, and we have been day hikers for, I mean, at least probably 15 years now. But this past fall, we were down in the Great Smoky Mountains, and we did a section of the trail down there, Charlie's Bunyan, which is like an 8-mile loop on the Appalachian Trail. And I had been on some very small sections of the Appalachian Trail, off and on throughout my life, but I don't know, there was just something about that trip and that trail that it got in my blood. And I told my husband, I said, I want to hike the Appalachian Trail. I want to through hike it. It's like, you know, we knew nothing about backpacking. Like, I've never backpacked before. And so, you know, I was like, my husband's like, oh my goodness, have you lost your mind? And so I'm like, no. And so I started buying books and doing some research on hiking the Appalachian Trail, through hiking, which would be my dream, but that's not really necessarily a reality. That dream just started building and moving in my heart to hike this trail, the Appalachian Trail. And so I just took a leap of faith and started buying gear and learning things about the trail, planning itineraries. Like I said, I knew that the through hiking would not be an option, but a section hiking was definitely doable. And so we did our first section hike on the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. We started at Springer and made our way to Gooch Gap, and then we've done a lot of the little trip down. And so right now we are at Girard Gap, and our next hike will be planned in October the 1st of this year. So you guys will definitely be along for the ride on this, because I've had so many friends and families are so excited in our Appalachian Trail adventure. And so stay tuned for that. It is going to be another awesome trip. Totally unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen on the trail. So I'm excited about it, and I'm so excited to be able to take along friends and family on this hike, because it's going to be such a good time. But anyways, right now we're in, sorry, I totally got off on a tangent on that, didn't I? But it was super exciting, and it just got me thinking about today as being my first YouTube video and my first solo hike, to kind of share another first for us this year, which was our first time backpacking and our first time section hiking on the Appalachian Trail. So anyways, thanks for letting me go off on a side tangent there with that, but it's just something that's really exciting to me to be able to do, and I cannot wait to share it with everybody. It's gonna be so awesome. Hey guys, so as you can see behind me, there are some signs. This trail actually branches off a couple of different directions on the way to Long Point. So something that you do kind of want to pay attention to is the signs, because you make sure you're going the right way. So as you can see, we got it marked for Long Point, which basically comes this way, and then we do have the Fayetteville Trail, and that takes you to the Fayetteville Town Park, or you can go towards Kmore Top, which we will do these trails eventually one day. But just kind of wanted to point out when you're on this trail, because like this is kind of sitting near the woods and you don't want to miss this. Of course, it was hard to miss today because for some reason we have caution tape on the trail and a sign that's pointing in one direction. So not really sure what that's about. That's a first for me, seeing that on the trail. Kind of like, am I coming up on a crime scene or what here? So anyway, like I said, it's easy to miss these signs sometimes. So you always want to kind of make sure you're paying attention to where you're going. The next parts of this trail are pretty much kind of the same. You know, it's relatively flat and some rocks and stubs. Stubs is a stobs. That's a West Virginia word there, people. I can show you what a stub is. We're getting ready to get up on one right now. That is a stub. A little bit of West Virginia terminology for you there. This trail used to go a different way, so kind of be mindful of that, because as you can see, we've got what looks like a trail off to our left here, but as you move a little bit closer up, you're gonna see how it veers off again. So you're gonna want to be mindful of that and make sure that you're on the trail that looks the most worn. I hear something crashing in the woods over this way. Let's hope it's a deer. We do have black bear here. We do have deer, turkey. Usually the forest is absolutely loaded with squirrels and birds. But if I'm being 100% honest, I've been hiking in the woods here, like I said, for nearly 15 years. I've never seen a bear. But I don't want to either on my first solo hike today. So we're gonna scoot on along out of this area, because there is obviously something bigger than a squirrel on that side of the woods. I know you guys may be bummed to not see a bear on this trip, but I am totally not bummed at all. For years, I didn't want to even go in the woods, like I said, when I was a teenager, because for some reason I developed this ridiculous phobia about bears. And so, which, you know, I've overcome quite a bit over the last 15 years. I still get nervous sometimes sleeping in the woods, because at night everything is amplified, and even the smallest sound of an acorn falling out of a tree makes it sound like a grizzly bear is coming after you. So I do want to show you guys this too. If you are a mountain biker, you can bike on this trail, but you will see once you get to this point right here, this, you have to stop biking. If you have problems with your knees, balance, when you get to that spot there where the bicycle lockup is, that would be possibly a good place for you to turn around, depending on, you know, like I said, your knees or issues with balance, because it does start to get a lot more steep and a lot more roots and rocks from this point forward. All right, so yeah, you see what I'm talking about with the roots. But I mean, honestly, I have really bad knees, and there's days when, even as much as I hike, I do carry hiking sticks, because sometimes my knees are feeling weaker than others. And I mean, I'm still able to do this trail, but I just want people who may be visiting here or watching this video, or, you know, if you're a local and you've never been on this trail, just to kind of be aware of the terrain that you're going to encounter here. Never to discourage, only to inform. Which is part of the reason, another reason why I started this channel was, you know, we, as a national park. A lot of people come here. We're a large tourist area. And, you know, when I was planning the Appalachian Trail section hike I was talking to you guys about earlier, I searched a lot of YouTube videos for people doing just what I'm doing now. See, I come across a lot of videos of sections that we were planning to do so I could get a good idea of what the trail was like ahead of time so we could plan. So that's kind of another reason for starting this channel. So if you're planning on coming here and vacationing, like, it'll give you a good idea of what to expect without ruining the trail for you. So we're getting ready to go into one of my favorite parts of the trail, which is the Laurel thicket that I was telling you guys about earlier. I love this part. Honestly, guys, this is like one of the advantages of being short. There's not very many, but I don't really have to duck going through the laurel thicket. So coming up on one of our first views, guys. Yeah. So we're in the clouds right now. I will show you what I mean. Sorry, I have to keep wiping the humidity and sweat off my face today, because even though it is not scorching hot, it is humid. But anyways, here's what I mean by in the clouds.
And that's the one we did, right?
Okay, guys, so we are getting ready to come out on the actual overlook here. So beautiful here. You're really just on a ridge. Each side of you is the New River Gorge. I think we can catch a small view of the New River. You can barely see it way down there. I'm gonna take you off on all the little side steps here so you can see all these awesome views. I mean, wow, right? Now, you can probably see why people say almost heaven, West Virginia. It is absolutely gorgeous here. This is just one of many beautiful trails here and beautiful things to see in the state of West Virginia. So, busy day out on the Overlook. A lot of people visiting this area right now. It's a great time. So, we're gonna head out of here. Oh, I do want to show you guys this real quick while I'm thinking about it. So, if you are coming here to visit and hike, there's another really popular trail, which I will get you guys out on that soon, but you can actually see the other peaks of the gorge right here. This is all the Endless Wall Trail. So, another really popular trail here in West Virginia. And I will get you guys out on that as soon as I can. But I did want to get some shots for you guys coming out of here, show you a little bit more of the steepness.
I need to get you room.
See? Mountain biking. Also doable on this trail to a certain point. Yeah. Hey guys, we're almost back to the parking lot, but I did want to take a moment to thank you for coming along with me today on the Long Point Trail in the New River Gorge National Park. If you enjoyed your hike today with me, please give me a thumbs up at the bottom and subscribe to my channel. Like I said, we are going to cover hikes here in the national park, plus we also have the upcoming Appalachian Trail section hike planned here in a couple of months, which I absolutely intend to bring you guys along for that as well. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this hike, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you on the trail.